Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Narco-list ni Digong noon gawa-gawa lang pala? At hindi beripikado? Paano ko po ito nasabi? Ayon po kasi sa patuloy na pagdining sa Kamara, dito sa sinasagawang Quadcom hearing ng mga kongresista, dito, na bulgar na hindi pala beripikado ang narco-list ni Digong na kung saan dito nakalista ang mga personalidad na sangkot daw sa droga. Anyway, ano ba itong narco-list na sinasabi ko? Panoorin na muna po natin itong nakaraang balita para malaman po natin kung ano po itong narco-list ni Digong.
Inilabas na ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang 46 na pangalan ng mga politikong sangkot sa iligal na droga. Nilinaw din ng Pangulo na verified at sinampahan na ng DILG ng kaso sa Office of the Ombudsman ang mga nasa listahan.
Isa-isang pinangalanan ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa National Peace and Order Council meeting sa Davao City ang mga nasa narco-list o ang listahan ng mga politikong umano'y sangkot sa iligal na droga. Inanunsyo ito ng Pangulo sa harap na rin ng nalalapit na 2019 midterm elections. Ang mga nasa listahan anya ay verified at sinampahan na ng kaso ng DILG sa Office of the Ombudsman. Aabot sa 46 ang nasa listahan. 33 rito ay mayor, 8 vice mayor, 3 kongresista, 1 board member at 1 dating mayor.
Since my assumption in 2016, I have committed to eradicate the drug problem. I have done that. My decision to unmask these drug personalities was anchored on my trust in the government agencies who have vetted and validated the narco list. The Department of Interior and local government has filed administrative cases against them. Local officials today, March 14, 2019, at the Office of the Ombudsman. The Anti-Money Laundering Council and the Presidential Corruption Commission conduct their respective investigations, the result of which will aid us in filing airtight cases against them. Remember that public office is a public trust. An official's right of privacy is not absolute, and there is a compelling reason to prioritize the interests of the state and the people.
Gitang Pangulo, nilabas niya ang narco-list para sa kapakanan ng mga Pilipino bilang bahagi pa rin ng pagbabago na ipinangako mula pa noong kampanya pa lamang.
I'm not really interested in releasing it before or after the elections because I do not have the slightest intention to hurt anybody or to be a cause of the failure of an election of a certain man who wants to serve the public. Wala akong ano.
Gayunman, ayaw sana ilabas ng Pangulo ang listahan dahil ayaw niya makasakit ng kalooban. Ang listahan niya na kanyang nilabas ay posibleng masundan pa sapagkat ang iba ay for verification pa.
As your President, my ultimate concern is the pursuit of order in government and the welfare of the Filipino people. My administration assures you of our dedication to change the lives of Filipinos now, not tomorrow.
Ayon naman sa DILG, ang narco-list na ilalabas ng Pangulo ay binirepika ng maigi ng PNP, PIDEA at iba pang ahensya ng pamahalaan.
Yan po mga kabunyog, narinig po natin itong nakaraan pang balita na kung saan unang nilabas ni Digong Duterte noong Pangulo pa siya ang di umano mga listahan ng mga involved sa drugs list ng mga personalidad sa politiko. Ang sabi dito sa balita, binirepika ng mabuti daw itong listahan ni Digong. Pero bakit dito ngayon sa sinasagawang Quadcom hearing hindi daw beripikado at tila nagdesisyon lang si Digong Duterte na ilagay ang mga pangalan dito ayon sa kagustuhan ni Digong? Anyway, panoorin na po natin itong mga pagdining sa Kamara.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one quick question for PIDEA. PIDEA, sir, palagi pong nababanggit itong narco list. Even from the time of the 3 Chinese drug lords to the time of PCSO Board Secretary Wesley Barayuga, and now we are confronted by the killing incident as alleged by Kerwin committed against Mayor Espinosa, who allegedly was included as well in the narco list. Can you please enlighten us? Ito ho ba'y chinek nyo if during the time the name of Mayor Espinosa indeed appear in the narco list?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, yes, the names of
the father and son appear in the original list. The Kerwin is listed as a drug trafficker. The father is only, the category of the father, whether pusher or trafficker, is not listed, but in the list he is already indicated as neutralized. So, he was, he was dead already.
Would you neutralize because dead?
Yes.
Would you know, Pidea, kung kailan po napasama dun sa narco list? Was it the after the killing incident or subsequent to the killing incident?
In the original list, it was already after the death of...
If you
Mayor
are
Espinosa.
saying, Pidea, that it was after the incident, ibig sabihin po, patay na si Mayor Espinosa nung napasama sa drug list? Ganun ho ba yun?
No, Your Honor. What happened is that Mayor Espinosa is included in the list, but however, as the period or as the drug campaign continued, he would eventually be indicated as neutralized. So we could not ascertain whether he was a drug pusher, drug user, or whatever was his participation, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I wish to manifest this drug list, the narco list, is indeed very controversial. As a matter of fact, as we go along our investigation, I've been asking our resource speaker, whether during the hearing or off the hearing, as to the origin, the people who validated, the veracity, and no one can indeed vouch as to the genuineness of the names which were included in the list. So I just want to raise this concern that being included in the list would really compromise not only the safety but the entire life of the people who are in this list. So I hope we can come up with something, validate, and come up with the true personalities who must be included in the narco list, Mr. Chair.
Pinatotohanan naman ito ni Kerwin Espinosa na ito daw na narco list ni Digong ay isa lang na scripted or gawa-gawa lamang. Ito po, panoorin po natin itong salaysay ni Espinosa.
Magandang araw po. Magandang araw po, Ginoong Espinosa. Okay na po, sir?
Okay na po, Mr. Chair. Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, sinusundan po natin ng sinumpaang salaysay ni Ginoong Espinosa at it was very striking po, no, lalo po doon sa number 21 hanggang sa 25. Ginoong Espinosa, Mr. Chair, ang pakiramdam niyo po ba ay nagamit kayo? Ginamit kayo sa lahat ng mga nangyaring ito?
Sa sarili ko, pagkaintindi sa aking sarili, nagamit ako at naging biktima lang sa mga nangyayari.
Noong pong sa sinumpang salaysay niyo muli, nung kayo po ay medyo napilitan na sabihin po at magturo po ng mga taong inyong napagbintangan at mga taong naidamay, ang emosyon po ba na nararamdaman nyo ay yung takot po para, hindi po para sa sarili nyo, pero para po sa mga mahal nyo sa buhay?
Opo. Yes po.
May knowledge po ba kayo, meron po ba kayong kaalaman kung ano po tong narco list na to, paano binuo, paano ginawa, paano inayos, paano na-validate, paano po nilagay yung mga pangalan, which is, nandun nga po yung mga pangalan niyo po?
Your Honor, sa sariling pagkaintindi ko at sa sariling analisar ko, parang yung nakaraang administrasyon, pag hindi ka kakampi nila or kaalyado, pwede kang ilagay sa narcoles. Yun lang po ang ano ko yung sa tingin ko nitong narcoles na ito, kasi maraming inosente maraming malinis na tao, may mga na sali sa narcoles, hindi nga marunong magsigarilyo, nasali na sa narcoles. Walang insaktong validation. Bago ilagay sa narcoles, sana imbestigahan talaga ng mabuti kung talaga bang totoo. Yun lang po.
Mr. Chair, from the interpellation of the Honorable Jinky Luistro, sabi nga po niya, she's malaking hiwaga po kung paano ginawa itong narco-list na to, kung paano po nagawa ang listahan na yan. At based po sa mga statements saka sworn affidavit ni Ginoong Espinosa, para po siyang parte po ng pelikula. Para po siyang parang nagamit po siya sa isang, they're trying to paint a bigger picture, Mr. Chair. Naniniwala po ba kayo na after po nung nangyari sa inyo, nagamit din po yung sitwasyon nyo na parang lalong gamitin itong narco-list na mag-instill po ng fear, magbigay po ng takot at magbigay ng certain alertness po sa mga kasama sa listahan na yun?
Pwede niyo ba pong ulitin ang katanungan, Your Honor?
Mr. Chair, Ginoong Espinosa, naniniwala po ba kayo na yung sitwasyon nyo ay ginawang example po para sa mga iba pa pong nakalista sa narco-list, parang ginawang sample, parang ginamit po yung exact situation nyo sa pagturo ng mga pinagbibintangan sa nangyari po sa inyong ama? Naniniwala po ba kayo na parte po lahat to ng mas malaking, sabi nga nila, mas malaking script, mas malaking pelikula?
Opo. Ito ay lahat scripted na mga nilalagay nila sa narcoles. Hindi ito nakakatulong sa gobyerno natin.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to put on record na marami pong pagkakataon na yung mga kritiko po at nagbabato po sa Quadcom ay sinasabi na ang Quadcom po ay merong script. Pero nakikita po natin ngayon based po sa ating investigasyon, sa napakatagal na po na ginagawa ng mga different committees, na tila po parang ang script po hindi po nanggaling sa mga investigasyon natin. Nagagamit po itong narco-list, nagagamit po itong mga ganitong sitwasyon para po parang pinaglalaroan yung mga tao, ginagawa sila mga pawn. At nakakalungkot nga po dahil nakikita po natin yung mga iba't ibang biktima, lalo po sa mga extrajudicial killings at yung mga parte po ng listahan na to, Mr. Chair.
Yan po mga kabunyog, narinig po natin ang mga patotoo ni Espinosa. Isa pa sa magpapatotoo na ginagawa lang ni Digong ang mga listahan na ito para makaganti sa kanyang mga kalaban sa politika ay itong si Mabilog. Kung maaalala po ninyo si Mayor Mabilog na kung saan sinali siya sa narco-list ni Digong at sinubukang takutin din ni Digong para ituro naman sina Drilon at Mar Rojas. Anyway, balikan po natin ang salaysay ni Mabilog na kung saan ginamit ang narco-list ni Digong para makaganti sa kanilang mga kalaban sa politika.
After 7 years of exile, dahil sa napolitika at walang basehang mga akusasyon, kaliwat ka ng mga paratang at higit sa lahat mga banta sa aking buhay at sa buhay ng aking pamilya, narito po ako ngayon at humaharap po sa inyo. Naging kabataang barangay chairman, number 1 city councilor, vice mayor, at mayor in 2010, 13, and 16. And was fortunate to have been chosen as the top 5 world mayor in 2014. That also included the former president as a nominee. In the campaign against illegal drugs, as mayor and as mandated by law, I am aware of my authority to set local policies and priorities related to crime and drugs. I'm also aware that under the law, the PNP and PDEA handle crime investigation and response, and the combating of drug trafficking and enforcement of drug laws, while the mayor relies on the police and PDEA to implement them. And so when I became mayor, and having made aware that there were existing drug groups in the city, I immediately initiated anti-illegal drug activities, campaign and policies, among others, multiple programs, one of which is to activate the Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Councils. In 2014 po, according to PDEA, Iloilo City was the first in the country to have 100% of its BADAC activated. In the 6 years that I have been mayor of Iloilo City consistently received national recognitions from PDEA and the PNP in the years 2014, 2015, 2016, and even in 2017 for the comprehensive programs including rehab, logistical support to the PNP and PDEA in their drive against illegal drugs. Since the existence of these drug syndicates in our city was deeply rooted, I relied on the expertise of the local PNP and regional PDEA to deal with these groups while I focused on the socio-economic programs that would address the root causes of poverty that expose the vulnerable population to cope against the evils of illegal drugs. But all of these efforts were ignored by the Duterte administration. Kung matatandaan po ninyo, nagsimula ang lahat ng ito nung bigla na lamang na isama ang mga pangalan sa PRRD narco list ng Administrasyong Duterte. Isang listahan naglalaman ng mga pangalan ng mga kilalang public official na di umano ay sangkot sa illegal na droga, mga paratang na walang basihan, at kahit kailan ay hindi naman napatunayan. As a matter of fact, until today, there are no drug-related cases that have been filed, especially in the legal courts, against me and my person. Pero kung inyong titingnang maigi, isinama ang pangalan ng kalaban sa politika sa isang validated list ng mga drug personalities sa kasunod na PRRD list. Sa kabila ng mga questionableng impormasyon, walang validation o confirmation man lang na ginawa kahit na anumang ahensya ng gobyerno sa Malacanang initiated list. Itong PRRD list di umano ay naging hit list. Sa isang public forum ng PDEA noong 2018, mismo ang Regional Adjudication Committee o tinatawag na RAC ay nagsabi na wala yung pangalan ko sa kanilang listahan. While in the Iloilo City Anti-Drug Abuse Council meeting, then PDEA 6 Regional Director Hil Pabilona and Iloilo City Police Director Colonel Remus Canieso officially ang nagpatotoo na wala rin ang pangalan ko sa drug list. Ngunit, nanatili ang listahan sa kanilang mga record. Hanggang ngayon, lahat ng mga paratang at akusasyong ibinabato sa akin ay patuloy na sumisira sa aking reputasyon at pati na rin ang reputasyon ng minamahal kong Iloilo. Dahil sa seryosong banta sa aking buhay, napilitan po ako na hindi bumalik from an international speaking engagement in Japan at lisanin ng aking pamilya ang bayang buong pagsisikap naming itinaguyod ng may dangal. PRRD even assigned Lieutenant Colonel Espenido to Iloilo and announced with a threat, mabubuhi pa kaya siya? Ibig sabihin in Tagalog, mabubuhay pa kaya siya? referring to me. Pinalad po ako na meron akong speaking engagement sa isang international conference sa Japan, kaya nakaalis ako ng bansa. Paulit-ulit ang pagbabanta ni Presidente Duterte sa media, harap-harapang sinasabi, papatay daw ako.
So when government killed him, we started to dig and we found the bones of the policeman still in their uniform. And so we had to take him out. I said, go and take him out. The mayor of Iloilo City, I identified him. This is broadcast nationwide. I said, you're next. You're next. Sana ang mayor ninyo dito. Sana yung pinalitan mo, mayor. Saan ba si mayor? Sinabi ko sa kanila, balik ka dito. Patayin talaga kita. Julius Ronald Pacificador, Amtek Antique, Jed.
At alam po nating lahat, hindi lamang po ito basta-basta pagbabanta. Kayang-kaya niya pong totohanin ito. Labag man sa kalooban, kinailangan po naming lumisan at wag na munang bumalik sa Pilipinas. On August 28, 2017, I received an unexpected call from former PNP Regional Director Bernardo Diaz. He invited me to meet with PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa, now Senator, at Camp Crame, Quezon City, at noon the following day. The next morning, on August 29, I arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport at 10 a.m., ready to proceed. But then the call started. First, they moved the meeting to 3 p.m., and then by 5 p.m., it was delayed again, this time to 6 p.m. At around 5 p.m., a PNP colonel called me and, in a voice that sent shivers down my spine, literal po yun, warned me not to go to Camp Crame because my life was in danger. The fear that had been simmering now erupted. Soon after, at 6:32 p.m., my wife, Marivic, received a chilling text from a PNP colonel's wife. Do not proceed. There are 20 men surrounding your house, and if you go to Camp Crame, they will kill you. The terror was paralyzing. I couldn't believe it. My life and my family's life was hanging by a thread. The next day, on August 30, I took the first flight out to Japan, not knowing if I would ever return. Upon arrival, I received a message from General Diaz to call a number. Using a public payphone, I made the call and spoke to General Bato, who expressed his sympathy. He was talking to me in Bisaya. He told me he knew I was innocent, that I wasn't involved in illegal drugs, and he promised to help me. His words brought a brief moment of hope. I told him I would finish my work abroad and return to meet him, but he urged me to be careful, repeating his pledge to help. Just after that call, my Philippine cell phone rang. This time, it was another general. His voice was grim. Mayor, do not return. Your life is in danger. The accusations against you are all fabricated. But if you go to Crame, you'll be forced to point fingers to an opposition senator and a former presidential candidate as drug lords. The weight of the conspiracy against me was unbearable. This general couldn't live with the guilt of seeing me killed, he said, and warned me to destroy my Philippine SIM card and phone immediately, and told me because my phone is going to be wiretapped. My hands trembled as I realized how close death had come. I knew then that I was no longer just a target. I was in a battle for my life. Dumiretso po kami sa US at nag-apply ng political asylum. Mapalad po kami na pinagkalooban kami ng US ng political asylum. It took 15 months for them to investigate and see the validity of us not being involved in illegal drugs, and all these accusations are all false. Ito ay isang patunay na walang nakitang kadahilanan na ibinigyan kami ng political asylum in March 2019. Masakit at malungkot, ngunit napilitan akong lumisan mula sa aking sinumpaan tungkulin sa aking pamilya at sa kababayan kong Ilonggo, na sinumpaan kong pagsilbihan, hindi dahil sa nagkasala ako, kundi dahil nanganganib na po ang aming buhay. I come before you today not merely to recount my sufferings, but to highlight a critical flaw in our system, one that allows law enforcement agencies to be weaponized for political purposes. That illegal drug trade stems from the ills of our society, from poverty to corruption of government institutions, including our law enforcement agencies. By using state institutions to carry out personal vendettas or silence perceived enemies, undermine the foundation of justice and democracy in our country. Sideline. No individual should be allowed to wield such unchecked authority regardless of their position or power. Ang karanasan at ng iba pang mga katulad kong biktima, lalong-lalo na ang mga mayors na pinagbintangan, ay ang nagmulat sa amin sa mga pagkukulang at kakulangan ng ating law enforcement agencies. Kailangan mapatibay pa ang mga institusyon ito upang hindi basta-basta magamit o maimpluwensya ng politika. Masigurong makakapagsilbi ng may integridad, walang kinikilingan at may respeto sa batas. Ang panawagan po namin sa inyo, manguna po ang hustisya at magkaroon ng reforma sa ating sistema, partikular sa pamamalakad ng ating law enforcement agencies. Accusations must be duly validated and authenticated first before any public announcement to avoid shaming and destroying the honor, reputation, and good image of hardworking and innocent persons. Higit sa lahat, panagutin ang mga umaabuso sa kapangyarihan. Sana ang nadanasan naming paghihirap na durog, persecution, trauma, at saka walang-wala ay hindi po mararanasan ng iba. at mananaig ang katotohanan at hindi ang pamumulitika o personal na interes ng ilan. Pasensya na po. Maraming salamat po sa Quad Committee dahil 7 taon po. Nahihirap talaga po. Maraming salamat dahil nabigyan niyo po kami, ako, at ang iba pang mga biktima ng pagkakataon na linisin ang aming mga pamahalan at na mga minamahal ko, Ilonggo at yung Iloilo na tinawag po Shabolized. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Dakbanwas ang Iloilo, bugal ko, my city, my pride. I am Iloilo, proud to be Filipino po. Salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman, thank you, Mayor Mabilo.
Yan po mga kabunyog, ano po ang masasabi ninyo dito sa mga nalaman po natin? Grabe pala talaga. Gagawin talaga nitong sinadigong ang lahat para mabura sa lupa or makulong lahat ng kaaway nila sa politika. Anyway, dito na lang po ang aking topic, mabuhay po tayo.
May kulanong salita na ang ibig sabihin dito ay ang pagkakaisa.
Bunyog Party List.
Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na. Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na.
Sa susunod, ang atinang suportahan, Bunyog Party List, nagtataguyod ng katotohanan, lumalaban para sa bayan.